et in Arcadia ego.
Have you ever wondered what a collision between two galaxies would look like?
Stars don't collide too often because they're very far apart relative to their size. Galaxies are much closer to each other relative to their size, so they collide frequently. Galactic collisions were even more common in the past, when the universe was smaller and galaxies were closer together. When galaxies collide, strange things can happen. Sometimes, a small galaxy punches through the center of a large galaxy, leaving a hole in a surrounding ring of stars, creating a ring galaxy. Sometimes, a large galaxy consumes a small one, destroying all signs that the smaller one ever existed. The antennae galaxies take their name from the long antenna-like arms extending far out from the center of the two galaxies, best seen by ground-based telescopes. These tidal tails were formed during the initial encounter of the galaxies, some 200 to 300 million years ago. They give us a preview of what may happen when our Milky Way galaxy collides with the neighboring Andromeda galaxy in several billion years. The two spiral galaxies started to interact a few 100 million years ago, making the antennae galaxies one of the nearest and youngest examples of a pair of colliding galaxies. Nearly half of the faint objects in the antennae image are young clusters containing tens of thousands of stars. The orange blobs to the left and right of the image center are the two cores of the original galaxies and consist mainly of old stars crisscrossed by filaments of dust, which appears brown in the image. The two galaxies are dotted with brilliant blue star-forming regions surrounded by glowing hydrogen gas. The vast majority of the superstar clusters formed during the interaction will disperse, with the individual stars becoming a part of the smooth background of the galaxy. It is, however, believed that about 100 of the most massive clusters will survive to form regular globular clusters, similar to the globular clusters found in our own Milky Way galaxy. Star clusters like antennae, located at a distance of about 62 million light-years from Earth, began the collision more than hundreds of millions of years ago. The event is still in progress and has given rise to some new stars as far as the clouds of dust and gas discharges are crowded. Some of the most massive stars were born and have died already, transformed into huge supernovas the elapsed time from the beginning of the collision of the two galaxies. These stars live more intensely and are consumed more quickly than the smaller stars, their life cycle lasting only a few million years in contrast to our Sun, a medium-sized star which will burn for about 10 billion years. Right now, the Milky Way is swallowing at least one dwarf galaxy. On the far side of the galactic center from Earth, the Sagittarius dwarf elliptical galaxy is plunging through the disk of the Milky Way. About 200 million years ago, M23, a smaller galaxy, punched through the disk of Andromeda. Ripples of interstellar dust spread out through the disk of Andromeda like water ripples in a pond. M23 survived the encounter, but one day it will be devoured by Andromeda. When two galaxies close to the same size interact, the results are even more dramatic. Gravity can fling off streams of stars as the galaxies whip around each other. Gas clouds in the two galaxies may merge, fueling bursts of star formation. In some colliding galaxies, stars form 100 times faster than in calm galaxies like the Milky Way. Those stars live fast and die quickly. A star explodes like a supernova every couple of years there, compared to an average one every 100 years in the Milky Way. Astronomers call colliding starburst galaxies supernova factories, since they produce supernovas so quickly. The Milky Way and Andromeda are on a collision course, approaching each other at a speed of about 300,000 miles per hour. In a few billion years, these two galaxies will ram together to become a football-shaped elliptical galaxy. Since the Milky Way and Andromeda are both large, their collision will be particularly dramatic. The damage will be greater, just as the collision of two dump trucks would bend a lot more metal than if a small vehicle were to smack into a truck. As the two galaxies interact, stars will be tossed around. by the time the Milky Way and Andromeda collide, our star, the Sun, will be no more than a white dwarf. Both the Milky Way and Andromeda hold energy in the form of gas that could form new stars. Most likely, a burst of star formations will appear when the collision happens. Thousands of new stars and planetary systems will be born. Other stars will be lost, ejected from both galaxies. Many new stars will quickly die off and explode as supernovas. The new galaxy will be an energetic place for millions of years after the collision. The Milky Way is destined to get a major makeover during the encounter, which is predicted to happen 4 billion years from now. It is likely the Sun will be flung into a new region of our galaxy, but our Earth and solar system are in no danger of being destroyed. The scenario is like a baseball batter watching an oncoming fastball. Although Andromeda is approaching us more than 2,000 times faster, it will take 4 billion years before the strike. So let's imagine we are a planet Earth 4 billion years from now, and Andromeda is approaching. A young man started his journey through the stars. On his way, he noticed many strange things happening. Galaxies getting closer and closer to the Earth, stars changing their color while rushing across the sky at speeds he never thought possible. He felt something big was about to happen, but he knew there was nothing he could do to stop it from taking place, so he carried on with his journey. After many long hours of wandering, he found himself at the bank of a crystal-clear river. On the surface of the water, he could see the moon and all the stars coming closer and closer to the Earth for a head-on collision. Somewhere on the upper limit of the visible space, he could see 2 huge, brightly colored spots. He realized that the 2 stains on the night sky were Andromeda and the Milky Way, 2 galaxies about to crash into each other. The stars were moving quickly, almost as if doing some sort of chaotic dance understood only by them. Beginning to comprehend what he was witnessing, he glanced at the other side of the river, where he noticed a man, old enough to know all the stars' mysteries, was looking at him. They both watched the moon's reflection in silence, while the whole history of the universe was flashing before their eyes. Suddenly, a loud noise broke the eerie silence that was flowing in the air. The man turned his head and noticed an owl that was watching them from the tree nearby. The owl spread its wings and started flying in front of him, creating chaos. Andromeda was pulled from the surface of the water by the owl's power. Stars went flying in every direction, planets collided, and light was sucked up by the black holes created by supernovas, exploding after hitting other stars. The young man felt something dragging him through the void and into the abyss. It was a pleasant feeling, so he didn't fight it, and he closed his eyes. When opening them again, he found himself between the 2 galaxies, looking at the star war that was happening right before his eyes.